I will talk to you about an article called The 10-Minute Test Plan, written by James A. Whitaker. So let's begin with the why, or the problem. The author writes that a test plan is the least appreciated of all artifacts created in the development of a software. He states that they are often created, reviewed, and then left to rot as the focus shifts to care of the code, and rightly so according to Whitaker. He states, "Spending a moment more on a test plan than is absolutely necessary is a moment taken away from making the code the best it can be." So Whitaker thinks that the test plans is adding value, no doubt. The creation of them makes us think of potential problems and solutions. But he writes that the value lies in the test plan activity and not the test plan artifact itself. How? Well, Whitaker gave his team a task with vague instructions and unrealistic time constraints. The task was to write a test plan for the Google App Engine in just 10 minutes. Unsurprisingly, after 10 minutes, no test plan had been delivered. Whitaker then gave the same task with different applications, then again with another application, and so on. The team started to leave out parts that was not absolutely necessary for testing, meaning they would not appear in any important test case or have any other fundamentally important values to the testing. After 5 attempts, the team managed to create 80% of a test plan in less than 30 minutes. From this, they saw that 3 requirement categories surfaced. What properties needs verification, what part of the application needs to be verified, and what purpose does the application fill for users. They experimented with different variations of these 3 properties and came up with a process called the ACC, which stands for Attributes, Components, and Capabilities. They should be documented in that order, hopefully in as little time as 10 minutes. ACC has 7 guiding principles, and I will give you 4 examples of them. Avoid prose and favor bullet lists. Don't bother selling. No fluff, which means the test plans aren't school term projects with specific length expectations. And the outcome should be test cases. And the ACC accomplishes this by guiding the planner through 3 views of a product: its attributes, components, and capabilities. The attributes are the qualities and the characteristics that promote the product and distinguish it from the competition. Example attributes are secure or fast. The components, they are the core chunks of code that is the software. These are usually easy to identify and often exist already in design documentation. For small projects, it's the classes and the objects the developers are creating. Whitaker states the importance of level of detail here. Too much and it becomes overwhelming and brings diminishing returns. But if you have too little here, why even bother in the first place? The author thinks that about 10 to 20 components is enough depending on the size of the project. Example components are database or search. And you should not worry about completeness here. Whitaker writes that the ACC progress is based on doing something quickly and iterate as you go. You might find missed attributes when listing components, and you might find missing components and attributes when declaring the capabilities. And the capabilities, these represent the actions the system performs in response to user inputs. Capabilities lie at the intersection of attributes and components. Components perform some function to satisfy a product attribute, and the result gives the user a capability. For example, the database is secure, or the search is fast. And once the ACC document is complete, it specifies everything that could be tested if budget and time weren't a problem. Given that both are major problems, the next step is to associate the capabilities with a risk and distinguish their importance. To rank the capabilities in a prioritized order, Whitaker says that you should evaluate each capability with 2 variables: expected frequency of failure and failure impact. If the factors are given numerical weights and you sum them, you can group the capabilities into higher and lower risk categories and make more organized decisions about test coverage. So the validity of this, and was the problem solved? Well, Whitaker is clearly stating that this method will not be enough for regulated or safety critical software. But the core of test planning is to discover and document test effort, and the 10-minute test plan represents the core activities that must be done. So the ACC method was used at Google, and a web tool for this called the Google Test Analytics to implement the method was created. So the problem has been solved, but it was hard to find if this method is still used at Google or by others, but the analytics tool's source code is still downloadable from Google Code Archives. My thoughts on this? Well, I think Whitaker and his team did a great job in creating this method and tool. I can't help but wonder what other software artifacts could be streamlined and improved for today's software applications. And since this method is not applicable to more safety-critical software, I think maybe a bit more advanced versions of this could be made, so even these projects could streamline the test plan. Thank you.